Hello students, today we are going to start fourth part of the Mughal Empire. In this video we will discuss about a closer look Akbar's policies. In the previous video we discussed about Akbarnama. This is a book, Akbarnama. It was written by Abul Fazl, his courtman. He wrote this book. This book is divided into 3 volumes. In the first volume, the knowledge about the ancestors of Akbar explained. Abul Fazl explained about his reign in the second volume, and in third volume, Akbar's administration system is explained as Ain-e-Akbari. Ain-e-Akbari. So this is the third volume, right? Which volume? Third volume. You have to remember which is the third volume of Akbarnama. So Ain-e-Akbari is the third volume of Akbarnama, and it consists of the knowledge of administration of Akbar. The knowledge of administration of Akbar. What kind of division was there during Akbar's reign of the Mughal Empire? So during the reign of Akbar, entire empire was divided into subas. The biggest unit or the largest unit of the state or empire was Suba. Suba is like state, province. It was province. It was like state. After that, next unit was like district. It was known as Sarkar. It was like district. Okay. Suba, Sarkar. After that, Parganas. It was smaller unit. In this way, the entire empire was divided into subas. Subas were divided into Sarkar, means like districts, and Sarkars were divided into Parganas. Getting my point? Now we'll understand about the officers who used to have the offices. Clear? In every suba, in each suba, Subedar used to be there. Subedar. It was known as Subedar. Subedar was assisted by, first of all you have to know that who was Subedar. Subedar used to have political and military powers. Both the powers. Subedar had both the powers. And another officer to assist Subedar. Some more assistants were there for Subedar. Now we'll know about the officers during the Akbar's reign to assist Subedars. So other officers, those who used to assist Subedar. Subedar was the highest post, as I told you, and he had the political and military functions. Diwan was there in each suba, right? And Diwan used to have the power of financial powers. Financial functioning was in hands of Diwan, right? After that, military paymaster was known as Bakshi. Bakshi was another official who used to help Subedar, to assist Subedar. For religious matters, religious minister used to be there and charitable patronage was known as Sadr. Sadr was another official. After that, Fauzdar. Fauzdar was military commanders, right? Fauzdar were military commanders, and after that, for town police commander, one office was there for Kotwal, right? So in this way, these main officials were there to assist Subedar in the Suba. Clear? So units you remember, Suba, after that like district, Sarkar, and then Parganas. Clear? So these were 3 main units and these were main officers. Except the political administration of Akbar, one more policy was adopted by Akbar, that was known as Sulaykul. Sulaykul was the policy in which all the religious people were considered equal, and Akbar did not emphasize only on one religion, on Islam, right? Akbar also used to give the respect to all the religious groups, like Christians also, like Hindus, like Sikhs, and other religious groups. So all kinds of people were sitting together, and this was the policy of Akbar Sulaykul. In Ibadat Khana, they used to discuss about various kinds of matters. So Akbar emphasized on the policy Sulaykul, and it was known as universal peace, right? It was a way to adopt the policies towards the universal peace. So this was the specific policy adopted by Sulaykul, and rather than Sulaykul, one more policy was there, Deen-e-Ilahi. It was one kind of religion, that had the respect for all kinds of religions at that time. Okay, so this is the topic regarding the administrative policies or administration of Akbar. Now we'll study further in this chapter.
Now we'll discuss about this figure, Noor Jahan's influence in Jahangir's court. Mehrun Nisa was the real name, married the Emperor Jahangir in 1611 and received the title Noor Jahan. So what was the real name of Noor Jahan? Mehrun Nisa. She remained extremely loyal and supportive to the monarch. As a mark of honor, Jahangir struck silver coins bearing his own title on one side, and on the other the inscription struck in the name of Queen Begum Noor Jahan. The adjoining document is an order Farman. Order was called Farman of Noor Jahan. The square seal states, "Command of Her Most Sublime and Elevated Majesty Noor Jahan Padshah Begum." The round seal states, "By the son of Shah Jahangir, she became as brilliant as the moon. May Noor Jahan Padshah be the lady of the age." So this is in praise of Noor Jahan. You can understand what was the position or the condition of Noor Jahan in Jahangir's court. Here two words are there, dogma, a statement or an interpretation declared as authoritative with the expectation that it would be followed without question. Bigot, an individual who is intolerant of another person's religious beliefs or culture. It means the person who is only emphasizing about own religion. While Akbar was at Fatehpur Sikri during 1570s, he started discussions on religion with the ulama, brahmanas, Jesus priests who were Roman Catholics, and Zoroastrians. It means you can observe here different kinds of religious people were there with Akbar for discussion. So these discussions took place in the Ibadat Khana, as I told you before a short while, and he was interested in the religion and social customs of different people. So Akbar's interaction with people of different faiths made him realize that religious scholars who emphasize ritual and dogma were often bigots. So their teachings created divisions and disharmony amongst his subjects. So Akbar did not like it, and this eventually led Akbar to the idea of Sulaykul or universal peace, about which we have discussed here in this video. And Akbar commissioned the translation of many Sanskrit works into Persian language. Maktab Khana or Translation Bureau was also established at Fatehpur Sikri for this purpose. The Mahabharata, Ramayana, Lilavati and Yogashist were some of the notable Sanskrit works that were taken up for translation. The Razmama, Persian translation of Mahabharata, contains lavish illustration of the events of Mahabharata. So you have to remember these facts about Akbar's policy regarding other religions. Sulaykul, we already have discussed about Sulaykul. Jahangir, Akbar's son, described his father's policy of Sulaykul in the following words. You can read here about Sulaykul. And now next topic is the Mughal Empire in the 17th century and after. About this we will discuss in the next video. Till now you have to revise the topic whatever we have discussed in this video. Thank you. Have a nice day.